Hey guys, let's get into it. Let's talk about Xpeng, robotics and AI. In fact, the bubble associated with humanoids. Okay. So I had a lovely video the other day where, there's very strong reception from quite a few people. But some people DM me privately, right? Which I respect. DM me privately to not complain, but to argue, right? To say, hey, I'm too tough on these guys. I should take it easy. So I want to talk about that. Okay, I want to talk about, is that true? Are there companies out there that are coming up with humanoids, with robotics that look human? Okay. Are they overvalued? Okay. Is it a sham? Okay. Is it a bubble? Okay. I think that's key to understand. And, just for those joining us, who am I? So I'm the CEO of Aruka. Aruka is a smart payment ring. Okay, as you can see, I've always been a fan of rings. Okay, I watched every episode of Lord of the Rings, Goodfellas, the whole movies. When the opportunity came to found something around payment rings, specifically when one of my friends got robbed and he got stabbed, I came up with an idea that I want to do payments on a ring. So I went in, sourced this, created an app, and I've been talking to banks, about 500 banks at this stage, where we've connected so that you can just tap to pay with your ring. So you don't need a payment ring. So you don't need a wallet, you don't need your phone, you don't need to pay with your phone anymore or a wallet. You could just walk around with your ring, you tap to pay. So AI, in my opinion, is overpriced. And that's the truth. It's overpriced. If you look at every other product out there, so what are these people doing? You're creating a bot that can walk, was walking a problem. You're creating a bot that can, that can climb up and down the stairs, or that can have a catwalk. Think of me thinking, right? Are there other apps today that do it? And what's the valuation of these apps? Why is this suddenly crazy? I've got some numbers to go with that. Okay, I've got some numbers to go with that. So if you look at a company like Fanuc, 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 in Japan. Okay, they're a lovely, lovely small small robotics company. So they do robots as well, but no one's heard about them. And people have, okay, but it's not as big as, in terms of the value or the value of market cap of this company, they're 30 billion with a B. So 30 billion valuation on these products. And what do? They create robots, right? And the robots actually lift products up to 500 kilograms. So they have robotics. The robotics then can lift the product. Now, if something is lifting something for 500 kilograms, that's what you want. That's value, because we can't do it as humans. So what do? You get a bot to do it. That's valued at a reasonable amount of 30 billion. The entire company is 30 billion. Okay. And for all this, I want you to note the valuation, because we're going to get to AI and, Xpeng and Elon Musk's, and then we're going to see what the value is. Okay, Elon Musk himself will tell you, if you put him in a corner and say, hey, Elon, we think your robotics Optimus is really expensive and you're overvaluing it. He will tell you the truth, okay? But then again, if he's confronted by journalists and by speculators who really want the value to go up, he's going to say that, in my opinion, okay? He's an honest man. He can say that if you catch him. So here's the point. So Fanuc is one of those very, very top Japan companies. It's number one actually in terms of robotics, okay? But no one's talking about it. You don't see it all over the press. No influencers running their mouth and going on about, oh my God, it's the future. Please buy. Same thing as well with ABB. ABB are a Swiss company, so we call it ABABA or something like that. It's in Switzerland, and they've been around for several years, in fact, centuries at this stage. They've always come up with a lot of logistics, but they have their own bot as well, where, they sold recently to SoftBank. They sold it for 1.5 billion, with a B, 1.5 billion. Just to compare it, right? That's what Elon Musk spends on his robotics that just walks from here to here, okay? Per year, he spends 10 billion. The entire robotics company for ABB that actually carries things, that works on logistics, that is one of the second largest bots to be created, is only valued at 1 billion. That's crazy. And in terms of revenue, they actually make 125 billion today. So SoftBank did a good deal on that. Let's keep going. There's KUKA. KUKA is Kuka. KUKA. They're in Germany as well. Again, it's a very small company, private valuation. The private company, they're valued at 5 billion euros. It's about $5.2 billion, the entire company. So you could go and buy that company for 5.2 billion. They do robotics as well. Same thing. They carry one of the heaviest load. So the heavy load that they carry, or pay package, they carries up to 500 kilograms as well. So this is a company that actually creates value, that does things that humans can't do, that's needed to be done. but you don't see everyone talking about it or going on and on and on about them. Influencers are not covering them. In fact, if you look at Xpeng and just search it online, you see everyone's covering them and going on. A lot of people are like, "Oh my God, you're making us miss out here." I'm not giving financial advice here, but all I'm saying is if you look at these companies, number 4, going to Boston Dynamics, that's another one, the US. Boston Dynamics are big, but you don't see them. I mean, their adverts actually, they power Formula One, okay, in terms of their AI and robotics company. They also do a lot of, construction sites in the US. They do a lot of military operations as well. So any of the bots where humans can go into, bomb disposal units, it's all done by Boston Dynamics. The entire company, guess what? Sold for $1 billion. $1 billion would it be? So that's where I'm going with these guys. So the point I'm trying to make, and I'm not being harsh on anybody that wants to invest. If you want to invest, we can talk about that separately, right? And again, we sell rings, so it's nothing to do with us, right? So again, we're not getting commission on any of these guys that I've just mentioned. These are what they call it. You can search the top 4 robotic companies in the world. These top 4 companies provide value. They provide things that man can't do, that human beings can't do, which is very different to some, I'm trying to be polite here, to influencer pushed products. Okay. Again, people talk about, oh my God, we're missing the track on this. 2 people came to me on that specifically to say, hey, that's what you said about crypto. That's what you said about, other, like AI and Google when they came up. No. So Google and AI and all these companies, when they came out, right, they brought things that were not there in place. So when the .com bubble happened, Google and Facebook and all these companies and every company that came up around the .com era had a product that's based on the internet. They were overvalued and then they bust. But they came down to reasonable value. Now you can create an internet company and get a reasonable valuation on that. You're not going to go crazy or go, oh my goodness, what 10 billion? But AI, on the other hand, is going to be there. Just like Rolexes, just like any watches. Rolex, we know yourself. Unless you're a watch fanatic, you know how much a Rolex is worth. Maximum $1,000, $2,000. That's what a Rolex should be worth. But because, people want to rush and buy them, the demand is so high that they're selling for $10,000, $20,000. During the lockdown, they were selling for $30,000 on a Rolex, simple Daytona or Submariner. They were selling for ridiculous amounts. The bubble burst a year or 2 after the COVID lockdown, right? So what happened after that? So the point I'm trying to make, right, is guys, let's be careful. Let's look into valuations. Let's be careful with how companies value things, because in truth, at the end of the day, they're overvaluing these things. That's the truth. They're overvaluing it. Tesla and this guy Xpeng, you know yourselves, the bots are just climbing up and down the stairs. They're just doing the same thing humans do. So it shouldn't be worth 10 billion per year that they're spending. If they're spending 10 billion per year, that's on them. As a CEO, you should not encourage that. As a CEO, it's up to you to prioritize what you spend. Again, by the way, Tesla and Xpeng,